Okay, in this video we're going to talk about how to do something that's called a speed fill, or some people call it an autofill, and it's going to give you a quicker way to type in your spreadsheet. On this sheet over here, we actually typed in the month names manually. That was in a different lesson, but now I'm going to show you a better way. I'm going to go over to sheet 3, and let's say I want to start right over here. I'm going to type in January, and I'll hit the enter key. Now, to do a speed fill, I'm going to click on that cell, and then I'm going to go ahead and go to the bottom right-hand corner of that cell, and you get the black cross. The black cross here is called the speed fill or the autofill. What you're going to do is you're going to drag the black cross. I'm going to hold down my left mouse button and drag it over, and notice how the month names appear just like that. So that's the exact purpose of the speed fill, is to help you fill in your spreadsheet a little bit quicker. Watch again. I'm going to undo that. You're going to type in the first of your series. You're going to get the black cross in the bottom right-hand corner, and you're going to drag it over as far as you want to go. Now, you can also drag it down. Watch, I'm going to pick on January and drag it down, and that works also. Now, if we had kept on going till December, I'll even go a little bit further, then you can see it starts again at January, just like the regular months. Actually, I'm going to erase all of those. I just wanted to show you that we could drag it down, and let me delete that. To delete that, I can just hit my delete key on my keyboard, of course. Now, we can also drag it up. I'm going to use January over here, and if I get the black cross and drag it up, notice then it goes backwards. It goes January, December, November, but it still works. Also, if I drag it to the left, I'm going to pick it up and drag it to the left. Notice how it goes backward, but it still works. So if you drag it to the right or if you drag it down, it's going to go forward in progression. If you drag it up or to the left, it's going to go backward in progression. Now, I'm going to get rid of these couple cells. Those are just examples. The speed fill also works with day names. So I'm going to type in Monday, and the same kind of thing is going to occur. I'm going to click on that and use the black cross to drag that over, and you can see I have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and so on. And then it starts at Monday again. Now, notice how this one is too short. So what you would do is you're going to go over it between E and F. You get the black cross, and then you just drag that over. Or another way to make a column bigger is I can drag that, but I can double click on the black cross, and then that makes it just as long as it needs to be, as we can see. So the speed fill works with month names. It works with days of the week. It also works with numbers. Let's type in the number 1, and I'm going to click on that cell. I'm going to go to the bottom right-hand corner and get the black cross and drag it over. Now, notice what happened with the numbers. It actually made them all 1. Well, that's not exactly what I wanted to do. So if you notice, whenever you do a speed fill, you get this little window over here. You're going to click on that. You click on the pull down, and then instead of a copy, you're going to do a fill. I'm going to pick on fill, and then notice what it did. Then it says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So all I did was, let's undo that. I start with the 1. I'm going to drag it over. Now, if it does a copy rather than a fill, you're going to click on this little pull down and then make it a fill instead. Or if it made it a fill and you wanted to make a copy, we can do it that way as well. All right, now you can see it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's say you want to do every other number. Like, let's say 1, 3, 5, 7. In this case, you type, when you want something that's different than sequential, you type in the first 2 of your series. See how I typed in 1 and 3. You're going to highlight both of those cells. You're going to get to the black cross, and then you'll drag it over. Notice how Excel this time is smart enough to figure out that you want to do every other number. So when you want something that's different than sequential, you're going to type in the first 2 of your series. You highlight both cells, and then you do the speed fill. And Excel usually is smart enough to figure out what you're trying to do. Let's try that one again. Let's say I want to go 5, 10, 15, 20. I want to type in 5. Now I just hit the tab key so I can go over to the next cell to the right. I'm going to type in 10. I'm going to highlight both of those cells, get the black cross, and then drag it over. Notice now I have 5, 10, 15, 20. Okay, let's try it with dates now. So let's say I wanted to start with today's date and move forward from there. By the way, here's a keyboard shortcut for today's date. On my keyboard, I'm going to use Control semicolon. All right, Control semicolon is going to give you today's date. Now, if you try that on your computer and it comes up with a different date than today's date, it means that your system clock is not set properly. But usually that's going to come up with today's date when we do Control semicolon. You hold down Control and then do semicolon at the same time. Now let's see how the speed fill is going to work with dates. I'm going to get the black cross and drag it over. Actually, in this case, we see a lot of those pound signs. Anytime that you see the pound signs in Excel, it means that you have to make that cell bigger. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up between D and E and get a black cross, and then I'm just going to double click on that. And you can see now it's bigger and the pound signs are no longer there. We can do those one by one, but let's say I needed to change all of these at the same time. What I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the letter F and then drag it over to include all of those columns. Now I'm going to go between column H and column I, or I can go between any two columns there and then get the black cross and then double click, and then notice how they all now show the dates rather than the pound signs. So anytime that you see the pound signs, you just want to make that column bigger, but we can also make more than one column bigger at the same time. But let's see the speed fill again. I'm going to click here. I'm going to get the black cross in the bottom right hand corner and then drag it over. And then you can see it gives us the next sequential dates. Now, I'm actually recording this on a Thursday. And this is a Thursday, this is a Friday, this is a Saturday, and a Sunday. What if I just wanted to show the weekdays and not the weekend dates? Because maybe we're doing this for a business and you wouldn't want to include the weekends. So what you do is you're going to use this little box again. You're going to click on that pull down, and then you can see I can say fill weekdays. That only shows up when you're using a date. So let's do fill weekdays, and look at this. Now it goes from October 1st to October 4th. It skipped right over the weekend. Here's a pound sign again. I'm going to make that bigger. And even here it went from October 8th to October 11th. It skipped right over the weekend. So that's a nice feature as well. What if you wanted your spreadsheet to reflect every Friday's date? So that's another instance where I would type in the first two. So in this case, this week the Friday is on October 1st, 2010. Then I want to type in next Friday's date. I'm going to type in October 8th, 2010. Now I'm going to highlight both of those cells. I'm going to get the black cross and then drag it over. We see some of those pound signs. In this case, I'm just going to make those bigger individually by double-clicking on that black cross at the top of the column. But notice what it gave us. It gave us each Friday after that. So that's another example of when you use the first two in the series, Excel is smart enough to figure out what we're trying to do. So now we have every Friday after that. What if I want the last day of each month? Because some companies pay their commission maybe monthly. So let's say, and you want to set up the spreadsheet like that. So let's say for September, it's going to be 9/30. And then again, I'm going to type in the last day of October, which would be 10/31. I'm going to highlight both of those cells. I'm going to get the black cross and then drag it over. And now if you notice, I have the last day of each month after that. So the speed fill is just really an outstanding way to quickly fill in your spreadsheet. It works with month names. It works with day names, numbers. If you wanted something that's different than sequential, you type in the first two, and then you highlight both of those and do your speed fill, like in these couple examples. It works with dates, and then even if you wanted different dates, like here we have every Friday, you type in the first two of your series, you highlight those, you get the black cross, and then you drag it over, and then we have every Friday after that. So that's how you can quickly fill in your spreadsheet with the speed fill type of operation.